Hello, hello, hello. This is going to be very, very fast, okay? And perhaps not so interesting for many people, but this was so much fun for me, guys. Like every other video, I always imagine that no one is that interested. But the thing is, I just need to talk about these things. It's just so much fun for me. Okay. There's okay. Sorry for that. The volume was gone there for a little while because there was some background noise. Okay. Anyway, guys, this place was so much fun, and I am absolutely excited to tell you about this place. Let's see if we can get you there. We are doing this place here. It is so much fun. Yeah. There you go. I went to this place, right? This is Port Arthur. It's so much fun to go. Well, maybe I use the word fun wrongly here. It it's such a captivating place. It's amazing. You need to go to Port Arthur. So obviously, like we do all the time, you know what we do? We first of all we have to share with everyone and their dog, and let them know that we are currently talking about Port Arthur. Um, Port Arthur. Right. My thoughts on Port Arthur. Okay. So I just need to advertise this on Facebook like I do every time. I'm gonna figure out how to do this without wasting your time. I apologize. Okay. Right. So anyway, so we've posted. We're ready. So Port Arthur was a was a prison from the 1840s somewhere there. Okay, it was a prison. I can't tell you the exact dates, and I'm not really interested in telling you the exact dates at the moment. What I really want, what I really want to share with you is, what I really want to share with you is the experience I had while I was up there, and my thoughts was very interesting. I took my wife and the baby. Um, but what happened is my wife was very depressed at the end. Well, did she say no? She didn't say she was depressed, but she was very quite shaken. Okay, because it wasn't a very lovely experience. The story is a tragic story, but it's very captivating. You need to go to Port Arthur if you come to Tasmania. Make time, go to Port Arthur. I have to go back because I haven't done enough. There's more than enough stuff to do there. But I'm just going to tell you my major thoughts that I had. So very quickly, the first and most important thing for me was, um, if anything at all, one thing that I find very interesting is history. It's very, very important to know the history of things, lots of different things, because when you know the history of things, it kind of makes life more interesting. So I think this is one testament to Tasmania. There's well preserved history. You can know lots of things. So, like for example, the guy who was what do you call those people who tell you what's going on in a place? Well, the guide. Okay, let's go with the word guide. The guy who was our guide was taking us through the place. He said they've got enough information about the different prisoners who were at Port Arthur, up to the point that they could tell you what kind of tattoo the person had, how tall they were, how much they weighed, what their day was like, what they did for their day, etc. So every single piece of history is known about them except where they are buried, okay, which is another tragic thing to talk about. But at the end of the day, that level of interest in history and changes of things and how things happened, to me is just interesting and fascinating. So like I always say on this channel, always make time to reflect. Always make time to reflect, because it's when we reflect on why things happen in a certain way, that's how we grow, that's how we learn, that's how we see where we're going wrong in the way we're living our lives and what we need to do, what direction we want to take with our lives. So anyway, that's that for now. So um, the most important thing I think for me from being at Port Arthur, the biggest takeaway point is, we need to be grateful for the many things that, like, life has been very terrible for many people in the past. You know, if you go back to the past, wherever you live, if you go back in the past, life has been very, very, very hard. You know, except in Zimbabwe. Yeah, even in Zimbabwe, life was very hard back in the past. I can't think of a place where life was not hard in the past. Okay, so there's a lot to be thankful for our times, and it kind of gives you an appreciation for what's going on in your life if you just stop to think what was happening in other people's lives maybe 100 years ago or something like that. Just go back, and it really gives you a sense of happiness about the moment. So for me, like, when sometimes when I'm just taking a walk with my baby, I really feel very happy that, you know, there we are, just walking, singing, or whatever we're doing, we're just playing, and nothing bad is going to happen to us. We're going to get home, we're going to be safe. There's no invading tribe that's going to come and take the babies, or there's no invading country that's going to, come and subjugate everybody. I can do what I want. There's a lot of freedom in that. And to me, this is one thing that I really appreciated by going to Port Arthur. So I'm going to walk you through some of the terrible things that were happening very quickly. So for example, what they did here. So this is where they brought the what they thought were the worst prisoners in the UK. That they thought, okay, let's send them as far away from here as possible so they don't steal from us. So then they would send you up here to Port Arthur. This was not the original prison. These are just ruins of different places where people were living, right? And they would send you out here because the hope was you would never come back, or you would reform and then live over there. Okay, so the worst, I'll give you examples of the terrible things that they used to do. Like, they would beat up the prisoners, like whip them, right? Whip them, try and whip them into shape. Some of the worst things as well that were there, imprisoning kids. Just hold on for 2 seconds. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So some of the things were like beating up people, and they were imprisoning kids. This was the worst one that I heard. Okay. So back in the past in the UK, kids, women, and children would sometimes be all in one prison. By kids, maybe you're thinking I'm talking about 12-year-olds, 13-year-old. No, the age of responsibility was 7. From the age of 7, you could go to prison. From the age of 8, you could be hung for being a criminal or whatever. They could hang you if you're 8 years old. So, like, the worst case, I think that I heard, that there was a kid that came there and was imprisoned for stealing a box of toys, right? And he was like 7 or 8 years old. Imagine that. Of course, maybe it was his 29,000th time to steal toys, but it's a 7-year-old or 8-year-old. And they sent them all the way down to Port Arthur here. No mom, no dad, no brothers, no sisters. Go to prison. You're 8 years old. You're an adult. You should know what to do now. It's unbelievable. Okay. So, yes, we live in very good times. So next time you want to go protest something or whatever, have a sense of history. Have a sense of history and a bit of humility about how good we have it right now, currently, in the whole world, actually. You know. So, and then I think the second one, this part was the most disturbing, especially maybe for my wife. But I wasn't too shocked about that because I'm quite aware of the power of religion to ruin people's lives. So anyway, the whole deal here was, if we make conditions very hard, and make things very difficult for people, then they will repent. They will repent and become Christians and become good, and then they will stop stealing and all these things. So that was the assumption. So they would give you rewards if you acted well, and it's particularly if you were acting well and as a Christian, then you would get a certain reward, right? But if not, then you would be punished. So all the punishments, like, it's crazy punishments. They had punishments where people are just walking around carrying chains, and the worse you are, the more chains you had on you, or the heavier the chains that you were carrying with you wherever you were going. So it's absolutely insane. Need to go to Port Arthur. If you get to Tazi, you need to go to Port Arthur. So when you walk through, they will show you different pictures of people and what they did. It's incredible. Their stories are there. Okay. Um, so anyway, there's all these incredible stories over there, and I don't want to walk through any of these stories. Let me tell you about this solitary confinement thing that they had. So there was like almost like, let me say, there was I did tell you that there was different levels of prisons, like prisoning, right? Like the different levels of punishment depending on whether you were good becoming a Christian or not. Okay, so if you were not becoming a Christian, if you're still bad, because the assumption was only Christians can be good, right? So if you were still bad, then they would give you more punishments, right? So the point was they would try to convert you. So there was this place called solitary confinement, because at first they were whipping people, right? And then they realized, this whipping business, people are, they're kind of they've grown numb to the beatings, right? So they're not really repenting because we're beating them up. They were actually getting worse. They were becoming more violent. So they thought, inspired by the Quaker religion, right? They thought that let's put them in solitary confinement, right? Let's put them in solitary confinement. The problem is they've got too many things happening in their life. So let's put them in solitary confinement, and then they're going to, realize that what they're doing is bad, and then they'll be good again, and then everything will be okay. So when you went to solitary confinement, this place where they had, like, where they would just keep you by yourself, you wouldn't see any other prisoner. And when you walked out of your cell, they'd put a hoodie on you, almost like a Klan hat, like a Ku Klux Klan thing that they put over their heads. And if when your door was open, you couldn't see anyone. And this is the kicker part. This is why I have this photo here. When you came to church, so if you look over here, let's see if we can. So if you look over here, I don't know if you can see this. So there were cubicles in the church. There were cubicles in the church. Each prisoner would be in their cubicle, and there's stairs going down here. There's stairs right here, all here. There's stairs. So each person would go through these stairs and get into their cubicle. And then when you're in your cubicle, all you can see is the preacher. You can't see the person next to you because there's like a door there. Okay. I had some photos that I took in there, but they were photos of me and the baby, so I can't show you those. Okay, because my child is not allowed on TV. Anyway, and then so the problem with that was, at the end of the day, what happened is people went insane. People lost their sanity just from being confined and living alone, not talking to anyone. The guards would not say anything. You're not allowed to talk, to sing, to dance, or anything. If you did that when you're in solitary confinement, then they would put you in what they call the black hole. And if you went into the black hole, it meant like you'd be in this one dark room all by yourself. You can't even see your fingers when you bring them to your face. Very dark. So you stay there, until you learn your lesson, I guess. I'm just showing you the different photos here, and then I will see what other thoughts I had. But anyway, so that's the thing that really bothered my wife, that what's the point of talking to people about religion when at the same time you're treating them so badly? But I think that's kind of like the way religion works, isn't it? Like most of the time, religion ends up with a very bad leaves people with a very bad taste in their mouth, most of the time. Okay. um yeah. So, and then of course there was money to be made too. I mean, they were prisoners, but there was also money to be made from the prisoners. Like the prisoners would work and make things for the empire, and those things will be taken and sold all over the world, but they would be working for free. So all those things were interesting. And I forgot to tell you this. So what happened with imprisoning kids? So you know how we have juvenile detention. The reason why all these juvenile detention stuff we now have, where we've got children being separated from adult criminals, and children sort of really they're focusing on rehabilitating them in prison, is it's at this prison that that one guy who was a preacher there, or a minister, realize that when you put small kids with the big criminals, the small kids learn crime. So he decided he decided to separate the kids from the adults in the prisons, right? So if they came as young kids, they'd put them in a different part of the island, and they would be in that part of the prison. And they had 85% success rate in terms of kids stopping being criminal and finding a trade and living decent, honorable lives. So because of that, the word got to London that this was working, and so then that was adopted, and that's how we have our current juvenile detention system, etc. So that's that's a good thing that's happened from there. Where what else was there? Okay, let me just have a look at my notes. What else did I want to talk to? So I've talked about, yeah, so the place where they had kids was called Point Pure, Point Poor, okay, which means Point Kids, something like that. Okay, Port Poor or something like that. It was a, who cares what the name was? Go to Port Arthur and see. Okay, very, very nice. And then lastly, the stubborn nature of human beings. So there were some people, after all these things were done, there was just, this is the idea. Like there's some people who think that if you do enough things, everyone will change and be a good person. And that was basically the idea here. Like if we make the conditions hard enough, if we deny them this, if we beat them up, if we do this, then they're going to change and they'll be good. And there was just some people that that whole approach didn't work for them. So anyway, that's why that was good. I would like to go back to Port Arthur. Okay, it was so much fun. I think the word fun is very misleading here. I need to expand my English words. Port Arthur was very informative, very, very informative, very educational. I think people need to go there if they come to Tazi. Just go visit Port Arthur and then go see your family. Don't go see your family before going to Port Arthur. That would be wrong. Anyway, guys, so that's that. I'm very, 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 very happy about that. Anyway, thanks. Bye. So what we'll do now is we will end this stream sometime now. What I've learned is if I just stop the stream without saying goodbye nicely, sometimes the streaming ends a bit abruptly. And then special request, guys. I had made a video on why I changed my citizenship. But it's under review at the moment. So if you'd like to watch it, please let me know, and then I'll think about it and I'll appeal to the powers that be, and maybe I can re-upload it. I took it off because it maybe it was deemed to be rather offensive. Okay, so please help me out. If you'd like to watch it, I'll try and clean it up, and then maybe I'll upload it again. Okay, this was fun. So see you next time, guys. I've still got lots of things that I want to talk about. So so this is the end of this one, but in the next 5 seconds, I'm going to talk about Liverpool. Sharp. Goodbye, guys. Yeah, that's it.